Morning, folks. Welcome back to Canic Chase Paranormal, and my name is Gail. So I've just woken up, and I've been up about 15 minutes to a quick shower, getting ready for work. But I had a really strange dream last night, and what I've noticed recent years is that, recent years, is that my dreams are getting more and more vivid, but I'm remembering more and more about what I dream, and they're no longer kind of like some sort of random weirdness, and they tend to have like a little bit of a theme or thread in them. So we're not jumping from one thing to the next. It seemed very clear, and uh, it used to be that I couldn't remember anything about my dreams. It was just I remembered I had a dream. I can't remember what it was about. But ever since it's weird actually because ever since I had my men and women in black encounter dream, it's almost like I can remember more of my dreams now. And indeed, that was a dream. Let's just say it was just a dream, because it it kind of felt very real and very threatening. For anyone who doesn't know about a dream, the video is actually in my playlist. Well, not in my playlist, but on my list of videos. And you can actually sort of watch that. It's just a little account. It might be actually be mixed in with another video too. But ever since then, ever since I had that dream, I have more vivid dreams that I can remember. Um, but sort of 90% of it. And last night I had a dream, and I think all these dreams actually happen at a certain time in the morning rather than 11 o'clock at night or something. Um, and that's weird, and maybe that is just simply a the type of sleep that we go through, the stages of sleep consciousness. But it's happening an awful lot, and some of the dreams have quite personal messages. And I mean, I had one dream about my both my parents, and they both had messages for me. Then I've had a dream the other week, which I'll maybe just put in another video. But again, that was kind of weird. It was an experience. Felt like an experience rather than a dream. Felt like I was actually there. And then there was this one last night. So essentially, I had this dream, and I can remember. I can remember 50% of this dream, and the other 50% I don't remember at all. Well, I no, that's wrong. The other 50% I remember the nature of what that half of a dream was about, but I can't remember like details. So this is what happened in my dream, and people are going to think I'm crazy uh, because it's so I don't know. People don't really sort of people think people that talk about dreams as kind of loonies or something. But I'm not. I do live in the real world. I have to go to work. I have to do stuff, and I have to deal with people, and I'll chat nonsense, with people. I'll talk about sport with people. I'll talk about politics with people. I'm very much grounded in the present reality. But like I said, over the last 5 years, the nature of my dreams have changed, and I think that the Men in Black dream had happened. I'm sure that was about 2000 and it's either on over the Christmas of 2018-19 or 2019-20. Um, but yeah, that was incredibly strange. I think it's 2019. So essentially, in this dream, there is an alien invasion, and it's not with flying saucers or cigar-shaped craft or anything weird that we've seen in sci-fi films. It's with these white orbs. I say orbs, they're white, spherical units, and I guess if you could sort of see my probably twice the size, yeah, maybe my arm's length, that kind of like, so maybe the size of my body, maybe smaller. I didn't really kind of account, but in in a dream, there was 50% of a dream. The dream that for some reason, I cannot remember that part of the dream, but I do remember the nature of that part of the dream, and 50% of that is us fighting them, but not actually fighting them. Us trying to fight them, and they're not attacking us, but they are present, and or maybe they are attacking us. And this is a part that I can't remember. I remember the fear, the chaos, and the attempt at, I suppose, defending our planet, but not by the military. It's kind of weird because the military have no involvement in this. It was by, the people on the street. And I guess in reality, if we were under some kind of attack by, a massively superior intelligence, the military might have very little effect, and their, whatever um, whatever force they use might be very limited and very short lived. So you might never actually get to see them. It might be just sticks and stones. And that's what it kind of felt like. But there are details from that first half. I don't know why I can't remember them. What I do remember is the bit where we are. There's obviously I'm there, and we are in a gigantic hall of some kind. It's not metallic, but it's kind of, it feels very grey, very long, quite nondescript. Um, don't remember what the walls were like. All I remember it was a very, very long and maybe wide-ish hall, and it was full of people, and we were still kind of fearful, and we were sort of planning on how to get out, I guess. And then these things were flying around all around the air in this hall, and we it felt like we couldn't leave. That was definitely the thing, we couldn't leave. But also it kind of felt like they weren't exactly going to harm us, but that we weren't being allowed to leave. And these orbs flying around, and a few of them started to kind of get close to people, and I was quite calm. And I don't know how old I was in a dream, but there was an element where I was kind of calm um, because the world had changed. It felt like the world was so different that I stopped fearing death and almost kind of welcomed death, I guess. So you lose the fear, so you kind of confront your fears, and in this moment, the fear was these orb things, and I didn't feel scared anymore. But I got right up close to one, and and I can't remember if I started talking to it, but it then it then looked human to me. I could see, it was the human face, and it wasn't a face, maybe that I would find familiar, like a reflection of somebody I know, maybe. Um, to confuse me, it was. I remember it being like a North. I remember it being something like a North African woman. Um, kind of like, I don't know. It's ridiculous, but it kind of reminds me of like what Cleopatra would look like, I guess. But yeah, Northeast African, um, braided hair, very um, not black, but just very kind of a dark complexion. But yeah, definitely, I would say if I was to make this person in Australia, I would say she's maybe Northeast African. Probably in between those two regions. and she seemed um, she seemed curious and amused by my behaviour, and almost complimentary of the fact that I wanted to communicate and I wanted to interact. And the mood of the hall sort of shifted. So, we can read into that maybe this was happening to everybody on a level, and some people might, still have the fear, some people might have curiosity. I was definitely like kind of curious, but I felt like the fear seemed to remove from everybody after that. And it's weird, because um, if you're confronted by these flying white um, spherical spherical objects, and you'll then find yourself um, basically not imprisoned but held in a place by these objects. You would think that that'd be the most terrifying thing in the world, but whatever was going on in this room, they changed our perception of them, very, very quickly. And we were actually sort of then starting to, you know, I think we must have been interacting with them. I remember I walked over to the other side of the room. We weren't sort of held within. So I walked over to the other side of the hall, and there was somebody there that bared a familiarity to me, a person. Um, but he was also Asian, maybe Pakistani, but I seemed to recognize him, and he was organizing people, actually people, because we had seats, we were able to sit down. He was organizing people, um, and he seemed, and I thought that was really, really strange because he didn't seem the kind of person to step up and do that. Very, very shy in life, and so all these feelings, it's like they turned out fear into sort of comfort, euphoria, and we were almost excited, like we were at some kind of damned summer camp that these things were organising us, but they were still, present. Um, it was a really, really strange dream, and I wanted to get it out. I made some notes straight away, and I'm just gonna, um, yeah. So yeah, I think that, I mean, I have covered everything which I dreamt about, but it's interesting how I'm able to remember the bits where we are more settled and communicative and um obedient and um, happy, maybe. I say that in inverted commas because I'm not sure whether we were voluntarily happy in this or whether we were kind of like, you know, succumbing to some kind of enforced happiness that we weren't aware of. So some sort of mass, hypnosis. Um, because the first half of the dream that I can't remember, and whether you might theorize that there's something beyond the realm that is blocking me from that experience for some reason. Maybe they don't want you to remember the fear, um, and the chaos in the streets. But the second half dream I could remember quite very, very well, and I just kind of find that really, really weird. Like half of it is allowed to be remembered, and half of it's not, and yeah, it's kind of weird. I'll tell you why this dream is quite weird to me because I am aware of UFO programs. Um, I'm aware of some of the some of the people that speak about UFOs, but I'll be honest with you, I avoid these programs not because they scare me in any way, um, but programs about tic tacs and white spherical objects shooting through the air being chased by military aircraft have 0% interest in me. I I'm always I always feel like I'm more connected to the earth and the sky, so I'm really not that interested. Now, if I were to have a film of a UFO opening up and an extraterrestrial stepping out, or some kind of full on encounter in somebody's home, then yeah, that would be interesting. However, these sort of black and white, infrared, um, um, heat heat sourced images of things flying at high speed, so just don't interest me. So it's not something that is in my mind a lot because I'm really not interested. Um, so yeah, I'm quite surprised I had a dream of this nature. I guess if there ever was an alien invasion, it would make sense to use um, small drones, white drones maybe. It would make sense to use them. Why would you come in some sort of behemoth of a craft that's obviously would be an easy target to to shoot at. Whether you could hit it, I don't know, but that'd be an easy target to shoot at. So you'd send in millions of these whites, round objects that aren't just there to be like chased by military aircraft. They are there to infuse us with some sort of maybe agent to kind of to calm us. So they don't need to fight us in the end. Essentially, they can all the fighting is done with whatever they release. Um, that sort of brings in walking into their you know craft, maybe their bigger craft, or because the hall I was in was and it was weird because it wasn't like a town hall or anything. It was a metal. Okay, I'm gonna say it felt like a big, long, wide metallic hall. I can't remember what was on the floor, but it wasn't stone. Um, so it did feel like I was in like a giant throne bathtub or something, which is like ludicrous. But so that was my dream anyway, and I really want to get these dreams out there because either either I, I'm I've changed and I'm having these intricate dreams because um my human life is different now, or or maybe either because something that maybe the dream I had about the man and the woman, the man and woman in black, they were threatening me. Maybe they did something to maybe they kind of pierced through to my reality or subconscious reality, and maybe they kind of left a chink there, which I am accessing, perhaps. But anyway, so yeah, that was my dream. Make of it what you will, and I do like to share my dreams because I think sometimes it can be quite funny and interesting, and I do have a few dreams that I'm going to share at some point, but we'll sort of get to that. So anyway, have a great week, and there will be. I have got the part two of my Mechanic Chase coming up. It'd be a shorter video, but yeah, it's part two, and I'll edit it, and post it. I don't really kind of go into too much effort to edit these things, because they're just it's just what we were doing, and I don't want to put any music over it. Because that it's a bit personal thing. There's music over paranormal videos. It just drives me like mental. Um, so there you go. Anyway, have a great day, and